So say hypothetical, Amanda, she comes to you, Summer House Amanda.
Mhm.
She says,
Yeah.
okay, Dani, this is all based on anything that you know about her from the screen. She tells you that in real life. And she's like, what can I work on? What advice do you give?
Yeah, so I mean, the first thing about Amanda is that like I think she has had like a decade of not really having much control and not really making her own choices. Which, when this whole thing happened, I was not entirely shocked because cheating, or I know there hasn't technically been cheating, but having like any sort of like emotional affair or any kind of like overlapping or like this weird choosing of West, to me, it's like spelling out things like wanting to be chosen and validation and novelty and trying to find identity and escapism and avoidance. It's not about West. I think that like when we think about people being on reality TV, they get a lot of weird dopamine moments that we don't get in normal life. They're getting a lot of social media attention, all these parties they're having every weekend with strangers showing up at the house. They go out in Montauk and there's fans there. And they're also in a weird space where they're not like celebrity enough to be like hanging out with like, all the A-list actors and stuff. That pocket is going to be just like this weird little mini dopamine conditioning where they're not getting like dopamine from doing normal things like taking their dog on like a walk down New York and like
Mhm.
having a nice coffee. So that dopamine system that Amanda has is probably like pretty jacked up. So instead of like looking for advice seeking right at the beginning, I'd probably be trying to dive into like how she's feeling, like what part of her she was like looking to connect with in the relationship with West, like really exploring like these parts of her that maybe she hasn't been able to explore. I remember watching the beginning of Summer House, like she's just so young getting into all of that.